funny information Warriors?
Nah, not really. I was just trying to check if there are any updates. Conversation good boy.
Conversation?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I don't want to. Are they okay? Mkempu, training, hakuna mafiasco ili madraft.
But yeah. Saka aguna.
Ndina chandaona.
Yeah. Hapana na one.
No, nothing that I know of.
Hapana rukufly.
And this kuzi hapana rukunza rufly kwenda ku apparently pani parukunzi pani vanga vari suspended or something. I'm not so sure. We come from a background where we cannot say things, so this number facts about. So just grapevine. No go very good. Exactly.
That's how my facts.
Exactly.
The facts are Zimbabwe lost against Benin, and a lot of people were not happy with the performance against Benin. Are you one of those, Ganaji?
How?
I thought all this while we were using the World Cup qualifiers as preps for the Africa Cup of Nations. I had no desire or hope that we were going to qualify for the World Cup, because I don't think at this stage we're ready for the World Cup.
Yeah, in that regard, we are the same. You remember in our last podcast, I was clear to say these are just glorified friendlies because they are prefixed by World Cup qualification. But we all know that that's a long shot. There is no way that we are going to be talking about World Cup qualification as yet. It would be unjust if football, the space, allowed us to qualify for the World Cup, because we don't want a scenario where we are at a platform that literally speaks to excellence, and we are nowhere near that ourselves. I think there is a lot that has to be done in our football before we look at that grand stage. We say I think for now AFCON. Let's be content with the AFCON thing and make sure that we are working towards bettering our performance at the AFCON. You know, the sad part or the funny part is we actually have potential to do way better than we have done so far. We have potential, I tell you. But the problem is we just don't know how to do things the right way. So we need first to get our house in order. When we get our house in order, then we can talk about going there. So the game against Benin for me, in as far as the implications regarding our participation at the World Cup, to me that was immaterial. I was indifferent in terms of feeling. But as a preparatory match to the Africa Cup of Nations, that's when I will have issues that we need then to talk about during this podcast.
Yeah, I think the major concern is actually the performance and not the result. Of course, a lot of Zimbabweans would want Rajin's Rujambani Benin to find Aguero, but people probably don't know that Benin are actually ranked way higher than us, and they've actually been performing pretty well on the African safari.
Yeah, I'll be frank with you. I'm not so big on the ranks because the rankings they are just an indication for me probably of a nation doing its things right in terms of order, right? I'll tell you, if we had not been banned, if we didn't have issues that we had, we probably would be ranking a bit higher than we are ranking. So there are things that are ranked higher than us that is never a stroll in the park when they are playing against us. So I can't use that as a stake. I'll give you, for example, South Africa. Yes, they are ranked higher than us, but it's never going to be easy for South Africa. It's not something that it's not a game.
Very easy the last time they played against us.
It's because you would have played them in one of your mad moments. That's Zimbabwe for you. When you go to Nigeria, the guys there were predicting whoopings, and they were shocked, saying, "No, okay, this is actually a very good side." But for all the potential that we have, sometimes we are our own biggest enemies. We have failed dismally to put our house in order. One thing that we cannot, that I've discovered about Zimbabweans, is we are so good at fighting each other. Innocent. Ngobile Magwizi is barely what? He's a few months in office.
In office, yeah.
He's already, under serious scrutiny, and the guns, blazing left, right, and center. But instead, I feel we compete sometimes unnecessarily. Let's compliment the guy. Let's see what he's able to do. Let's work with him.
Isn't it a disease that we think so many years of rot can be fixed within 6-7 months? Is it because of what they promised? But I don't think in his manifesto he said anything major was going to be changed in, let's say, 6 months.
Even I like your statement. Even if he had promised to say there will be a quick change, but we've got to realize when we are applying for posts, we've got a vision, and sometimes the reality on the ground may not be what we think is. So when we then get into the things and get to understand the reality on the ground, sometimes we see things differently. But we should give ourselves time. And there's this aspect, I'm sorry to use this word, but I don't think I'll have a better explanation. There's this pride that we have as a people. Pride that is premised on legacy issues, on who we were. And we don't want
to accept who we are.
We are now. We've got to realize that over the period that we stagnated, the period that we have retrogressed, others were coming
forward.
up, and they were moving forward. And we have to understand that though we are naturally an African giant of some sort, we've got to work to reclaim our status.
Isn't it the same that Ghana is going through?
Yeah.
It's not the Ghana of old where you'll be quaking in your boots.
Most of the West African countries.
Even the Nigeria itself, struggling to qualify for the World Cup.
It's just that they are better managers of the situation than we are. I don't see them wash their dirty linen in public as much as we do. I don't see them. There are fights naturally, but they have. I respect them for their ability to, manage it and to find way forward with it. They may have crises like now. Their qualification to the World Cup is really.
It's premised on whether we beat South Africa or not.
Also, and if there is an appeal against South Africa fielding a player they weren't supposed to, that would probably enhance their chances. But even then, they have got a responsible way of airing their issues. We sometimes go overboard. I'm not saying people should not
criticize,
because criticism makes people grow
better.
But it has to be constructive. It has to be criticism that is a positive outcome out of it. Not because probably one does not like Ngobile Magwizi as a person.
And it happens a lot that it's not whether the ability of a person, it's just my personal feelings towards Bevan. I don't like Bevan too much. And if Bevan doesn't produce, I'm like, mamona Bevan, it's the same thing that's happening with Michael Nees. He's been in charge for over a year now.
Yeah.
And people are expecting him to work wonders with what he's got. I mean, it's different from club football.
I have a different perspective to that. I think people's expectations are on point.
That we should be winning each and every game?
No, not necessarily each and every game. I think anybody out there who thinks we should be winning each and every game is probably out of their mind, or they don't understand what football is about. But expectation to have the team win and be on song, I think that is in place.
Yeah,
Why do I say that?
Yes.
Michael Nees is not a local coach. We have outsourced expertise. So the moment we outsource for expertise, people then expect to see something different to what they have locally.
But are you telling me that they haven't seen the difference in Zimbabwe's play? Remember when we were
At the end
in
of
the World Cup
at the
qualifiers?
end of the day, Innocent, you have to understand or look at it from the lenses of the ordinary fan. The ordinary fan is probably not going to look at the way the team is playing, as in your formation, your positional discipline or tactical discipline. That goes a tad deeper to an analytical stage, which the majority of the probably 60,000, if you're going to be talking about National Sports Stadium, the majority of the 60,000 that gather in that facility will not look at that. They will know to Boa. Probably some cannot interpret what is happening, but they know that they can tell. But what they really look at and look for is a win.
Yeah, but the
Now,
win comes from
out of 13, I'm telling you maybe the concerns, because I interact with some of these guys. The concerns are out of the maybe 13 or 12 games that is played. They're talking of 2 victories, right? Yet they were expecting maybe to see something different. If you ask me, Benin, you're not talking of a side that is difficult to break in a sense. If you're talking of Kenya, yes, these are sides that these guys are expecting.
Yeah, but Kenya is difficult to break.
No, but
Standard.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
I'll be frank with you. Even if you look at our head-to-head, it has not been easy against the Kenyans. But people now, with the euphoria that has been brought by Zimbabweans born in the diaspora, there is an expression that I don't like, so I avoided that one.
Yes, that expression.
Yes,
Yeah.
because these guys have to be wholly Zimbabwean.
Yeah.
So the Zimbabweans born in diaspora, and some of them, quite promising talents. People, there's a euphoria that was brought by that, and people were expecting, something different. And here is also a background where the local guys somehow they've been, how do I put it? I want to sound politically correct. They've been put in a position where they may not. Some of them are not good enough. Let me use that.
As fact or a perception?
As perceived.
Perceived. Okay.
As perceived. So now, because you've got these supposedly
well-trained,
well-groomed, and good enough.
Yeah.
So the expectation level then goes, it balloons, it skyrockets.
Oh, to say now we've got quality that's coming from Europe.
Especially when you have your Tawanda Chirewas and Maswani.
Sometimes
showing,
but you can't,
bits and bits of what they can do and what can happen. Then people are saying, surely we cannot fail to beat Lesotho.
No, that's
people will tell you that.
Lesotho wasn't Michael Nees. It was.
No, I'm telling you what
but
people
we can't
will
beat. Doughty, can you tell us? Are we in a good space right now, or more still needs to be done?
A lot needs to be done. If you look at Zimbabwean football right now, it's in a state of disaster. Why do we say that?
Disaster, that's a big word.
Why are you saying state of disaster?
Right. We have chopped coaches here and there, left, right, center, bringing in new faces.
Yeah, but we have had a coach for a whole year.
Yeah, but for a whole year, he had enough time to assess the players. He went to Europe, he assessed the 1 or 2 boys, maybe playing church football there in Europe. Who knows, most of them by their background.
Guy, where is he coming from? Church football, man.
Church football.
Yes.
He's talking about church football on Sunday league. Something like that. Isn't that what you're saying,
Yeah,
Dad?
Sunday football. Non-league football.
Non-league football.
Here in Zimbabwe, it used to be Division 5, but it was quality football back then. But when you look at some of the boys, like what Bevan was saying, they sell a dummy to us saying that these boys are good. Mr. Magwizi and Mr. Nees went to Europe, they had conversations with these boys, but then when it's the 11th hour to bring results, some of them are not good enough. Then you look at Tawanda Chirewa and Mazwani.
Yeah, but people are not are saying that it's Michael Nees who can't get the best
It's
out
not-
of
yeah, of course.
these quality players that we have.
But can I tell you, football is it's not all about the coach. It's all about the way we prepare. The team manager.
But who
is-
prepares?
The whole setup, the technical team, the team manager is not even doing his job. And then we expect ourselves to bring in results. He could not even make sure that that boy was on time, who could not come because they said you must not travel. I cannot travel with my own at my own expense.
Fusire, is that Fusire?
Yeah, but we're saying the guys that are called that do eventually make it, they should be, because the national team is different to a club. We are going to get the best for each position at that moment. That's the assumption.
particular time.
At that particular time. That's the assumption that we work with. The guys that we have at this stage, these are said to be the best. So if you are then called to the national team, I'm not so sure, because I'm thinking, does it not go down to the tactics and the systems of the coach?
You know what? I think we're probably looking at it the wrong way. In terms of we're saying, okay, it's the whole responsibility of the squad or it's the whole responsibility of the coach.
Well,
it could be a combination of both.
It depends what we're looking at.
We've got talent. In that Zimbabwe setup, we won't lie and say we don't have that talent. But Real Madrid had that talent.
Are we doing enough technically, Innocent, to get the best out of the talent that we have?
Yeah, but
because
isn't
if we agree to say we have talent, and everybody I think would concur with the fact that we do have talent in that side, but the statistics now are not reflective of the talent that we
but
have.
let's not look at the statistics. We've only lost 3 matches in the World Cup qualifiers.
Those 3
We have played how many?
We've drawn 4, and we've drawn against Nigeria with Michael Nees.
Do you know sometimes?
Remember,
Do you know sometimes?
the best of
boys
our
and
results actually came when Michael Nees came in.
What's
the 3 that Michael Nees has only lost 1 match.
What's the best of our results that you're talking about?
The draws.
the draws and the main
draws.
draw against
The-
Nigeria.
wait. Let's not forget that Michael Nees has lost how many matches? That is 2 matches that he has lost. Michael Nees, since he came in. We have been losing ever since before he came. We were complaining on this podcast.
No.
But is it not a matter of turning those draws into wins? Is that not where we're supposed to be?
Whose task is that?
That's the coach's task. But you can't then wake up in the morning and say, no, takuchinja, takuwina.
But sometimes we might want to blame the coach.
What do you mean? What do you mean? You can't wake up and say "Takto
All right,
Chile,
we're saying Michael Nees has been in charge of the Warriors since September last year.
For a year.
That's a year now.
That's a year, right? Within those years, what has he done? He has made us qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations.
No, pardon me, and everyone.
Has he not? Has he not?
Wait, I'm responding.
Okay.
And I'm sorry to him if he feels disrespected by this. But nowadays, it's difficult for me to credit anyone with qualification for Africa Cup of Nations.
Oh, good and
Let me finish. The continent is 52 countries. 24 countries play at the tournament.
Yeah,
If a
20
coach
don't.
If a coach fails, that's almost half. If a coach fails to qualify, I don't think it's worth discussing
Listen,
at any forum.
We were
regarding
not
football.
qualifying for the Africa Cup of Nations with the riffraff that we had.
No. Don't say
Am
we're
I
not-
not? Am I lying?
You are lying.
How?
Let me respond. Don't confuse the periods that we had bans and the way
No, it
COVID
was after the
affected
ban.
us.
Okay, Bevan. Continue.
Don't confuse the period that we had bans and COVID messed up things. Yes, we have got our own mess that is always there. But qualification is no longer, if you ask me, is no longer something that we should celebrate. Say, hey, Tainda AFCON. That, you know what Charles Mplaudi said during his tenure, 2006, which I concur with. We are past the stage now of saying, all we needed to do was to break the jinx. Then he said, we are past the stage of celebrating qualifying. We have to focus on doing well in the tournament. So qualification.
I think the context of what I was saying was that
what?
the performances that we're putting in before Michael
Look at Ricic qualified, by the way.
Yes, but the
I
performances...
think he was one of the worst coaches that you could ever talk about in Zimbabwe football, but he qualified.
Yes, but when we... Okay, looking at the trajectory that we were going... Before Michael Nees came in, we were here on the podcast that we were not going to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations with the squads, with the coaches that we had then. Am I lying? Because that's the context that I'm taking.
I'm also sure I concurred with that.
Okay, the Manika Diamond coach came in. What happened? Got hit by Lesotho, didn't we? We got.
We lost so many.
Wasn't that World Cup?
It was World Cup. I'm saying the performances before Michael Nees.
You know what I cannot dispute is there is stability in the team since he took over. Yes, let me be frank with you. Yeah, progress. Yeah, progress. Yes, progress is any form of positive movement. Is progress. Yes, but sometimes I understand. I understand. Get me right. But if you ask me, the biggest Achilles heel that is in the setup is found within the technical setup. If let me tell you, if you're going to hire, for example, Hugo Bruce, and I'm not really a fan though, he's going to have a bigger technical bench. Wait, if you're going to hire any European coach, you're not going to see one figure being outstanding. I understand having Tekshua Chiragui as the understudy. I don't have a problem with Teko. But I'm saying, is it enough? Because what we were saying, when Zifa then settled for foreign players, foreign coaches, or to have a foreign coach, what you're expecting is this guy is going to bring experts or expertise in every other aspect. Then we're going to have understudies from those aspects. Of course, there are certain aspects probably that you do not need that. But I was expecting to see him probably is bringing
3 or 4 more guys.
Yeah, his assistant first, his own assistant. Because usually, you should have one guy that you know, okay, he's going to come with. Then we add to that we have the other guys. That's what I've seen elsewhere. But I don't
things can be down to your coach. You think Nees hasn't done well?
Yeah, for me, he hasn't done well.
Where are you guys coming
I
from?
never said he hasn't done well.
So what are you expecting him to do? Okay, Doughty, what do you want him to do?
Tactically, for me, he has been poor.
How so?
When our team plays, do they play with a certain formation or a certain philosophy? They don't. When they are defending, they are in numbers, just numbers, without any formation. Sometimes
that's a formation, is it not?
When you regain, no, that's not a formation. When you regain position, what do you do with the ball?
You've got a very good point, my friend. Let me ask him something.
Ask me.
What is the strength of our current national team? What would you say? You know the Warriors for this.
For defending. Like what we did against Benin.
We lost the game.
But we lost the game.
Yeah, it was unfortunate.
No,
that's not tactical. That was a moment of brilliance and defensive lapse on the far corner. Was it not?
Yeah, but if you are expert at defending, how do we lapse then?
It's the same thing that happened when we had Chidzambra. We had losses. But he was an expert in counter-attack football.
But here's the thing. The Chidzambra that you have mentioned, you would win 1-0. Yes.
Guys, are you telling me that Zimbabwe has not won since?
He played against a dangerous Mali and he managed to score a goal, a solitary goal, and defended. And he was not defending against your Mickey Mouse kind of players. You're talking of, it was on fire. Who was this guy was playing for Barcelona then?
Keita.
Said Keita. And he was marked out of the game by Lady Tembo. I remember that game. They had quality. So let's not
Zimbabwe had quality.
No, we
Yes,
So
it's
you're
about
saying we don't have quality?
Wait.
Are you saying we don't have
Where's
now?
the quality? Where is it
No,
now?
I'm asking. I need a simple yes or no.
No, I'm asking,
Don't we have quality?
do we have it now?
Yeah, I'm telling you, we
The
have
same quality that
have
we
quality.
had then.
We have quality.
But we do have quality, but I believe
When was the last time Kadewere scored? Yes, go on.
I believe we have quality, but being played out of position.
Well, that's an experiment. It was an
Do we
experiment
need
against.
experiments at this moment of our?
I guess,
Or
'cause
we
we're going
need-
to the African
or we
Cup of
need-
Nations.
Or we need to give those fringe players time to see them play.
Oh, that's a fault. Though.
Yes.
I personally wanted to see the fringe players
So
play.
if the fringe players are not playing,
But you wanted
and
to
you want
see-
to experiment with those who have been playing all along, then it's not an
did you-
experiment.
did you-
But we want to
We're
find who's
shooting ourselves
better.
in the foot.
Do you know? I wonder what happens really at the scouting that happens, maybe at FIFA also, how they come up with the players that come and play. I don't understand. Like you say, we have if we are preparing for Africa Cup of Nations, innocent, we need to cast our net wider.
That's true.
And by casting our net wide, I don't think it would hurt. I will say this again. I said it last time. I don't think it would hurt for us to say, okay, Abubakar Moffat, you play as a defensive midfield. Come and play against Benin. Let's see what you can offer. Right? Then we lose to Benin, and you'd have played. Then we
Yeah,
assess
but you're the
what
same
guy
guys.
is playing.
You're the same guys who are going to say, akamtambisire papa.
Not me.
Musona angaripo, say asina kutamba.
Not me.
You're the same guys that are going to
me.
say that.
You know what? I then wonder if probably they know better because they are the experts at that. But what is it that you want in a defensive midfield that you think is that much lacking in the specific player that I've mentioned, that you say he can't be called and be tried maybe in these games, just maybe say
Top games.
maybe we are sitting on a gem.
I'll
Yeah,
give you an
we-
example.
yes.
Okay, can I give you an example?
Yes.
We had Achiro being called for the national team maybe 15 to 20 times. Did he ever play one competitive game, or he was only playing for?
Yeah,
for
but
Saba?
you see, that's the
You
thing
see,
that I'm
this is-
talking about.
This is what we're trying.
Are you
this is what
allowing
I'm
the
trying-
coach to do so?
Do I
As
have to allow
Zimbabwe,
him?
as
Do we
Zimbabwe,
have to allow
yes,
him?
he
has to
had
make
an
a choice.
experiment on Friday,
That was
and you
a
guys
poor
were not.
experiment. That was a poor
You see,
experiment.
that's the
We
point.
don't want such kind of experiments. Iwo unotice only waunza vamwana kubva kueurope handiti number 1 ndokaenda unovatsvaga ka handiti number 2 handiti number 3 obva wauya obva unoti hamusoni ari kutamba defensive midfield when you've got the young boy from Abubakar Moffat who has been doing well, give him the chance to shine and let's see how he comes on top.
Yeah,
or
but
down.
Jimmy might tell us to move into World Cup.
Aiwa, yeah,
He
but
says, did you hear the statement?
time
Jaguti now
Who said
you want
in
to
the
go to
local?
World Cup?
No, wait. There was a statement in the local media just this morning, right, to say Zimbabwe is now focusing on the Africa Cup of Nations.
What was the
my
focus prior to the game?
That's where my question is now, Guti. Okay, so the whole nation was going. We want to go to the World Cup.
To do what?
That's you see, but the perception, Iripo. Whilst we're sitting in here,
Are we going for supper at the World Cup, or we want to play football?
No, yeah, because I've said it from day one. At this stage, even if this was going to be the first game of the World Cup qualifiers, my focus was never going to be qualification to the World Cup, because innocent, if we have not gotten to a point where our national team plays at home, we are far. We cannot compete with other serious nations. Imagine you are playing. You get into a group where you've got Portugal and Spain. You've gone to the World Cup. You know, that's when you're going to create World Cup history. You get it. You can't. You know what?
Let's scoring 9 goals.
Exactly. Let's wait. Because this is a nation that has not progressed from the group stages of the Africa Cup of Nations, even with 24 teams. So what we need to do, let us focus on where we have the best chances of making an impact. You
and
get
that
it?
is the Africa
That
Cup
is
of
the Africa Cup of Nations. And how do we do that? We make sure that these games that we have to prepare. I understand, the coach wanting to reward loyalty and everything. I give it to him. But my point is, at this stage, we all know what Marshall can give us. And it's a given that Marshall is going to be, and barring any injury, is going to be there. We all know what Marvelous gives us. is a given. But
we don't know.
But
how
people,
Mboka
I would
are cheering.
think Mfana Padera, this was a game that you want him to play him to see how he would fare if he's going to be part of. Fine, you have left Abubakar. Fine. If you're going to have Padera there, give him a run so that he would play. And
So, guys, are we saying that later on tonight we're expecting the same lineup that we saw against Benin, apart from the yellow card
in personal,
suspension?
if you ask me, you could have a totally different first 11. For me, that's a glorified friendly.
All right, for me, I would like to see maybe 6 changes in the team.
Who do you want in the team now?
I want to see the youngsters, the new players that have been called in. But some of them we have never seen them in action, but they are the British Brigade, and we want to give them a chance to showcase their talent.
Yeah,
also.
your term.
It's not my turn. Please don't call them the British Brigade. Why?
God.
These guys are Zimbabweans. Why do we have to prefix it rather with British?
Well, they're from.
All right.
No. Zimbabweans born in the diaspora.
Yeah, okay,
Because
Zimbabweans
some of
born-
them are not coming from Britain. They are coming from
Different
Germany. They are coming from elsewhere, America. So they're not the British because they're Zimbabweans born in the diaspora.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
So we're going to see the new guys coming in, hopefully. But you seem to think. I think the major reason, just to round this off, the major reason Marco Nees is not experimenting right now is the expectation from everybody.
But this is the period to experiment.
Yeah, but no,
You
you're
can't
not giving him-
experiment at the tournament.
That's what I'm saying is that after the backlash that he got after the game against Benin is the reason why he's not experimenting right now.
Can I ask you something? We've all known knowledge of Msona as a number 9. And against Benin, he plays as a double defensive midfielder.
Oh, well,
is he able to do that? Was he ever able to do that? That was
Kind of
a
worked for
failed attempt.
76 minutes, guys. Kind of worked for 76 minutes.
It's a failure because we considered.
If we do that, if we maybe put him in the position that is being said, what would be the objective? We were trying to unlock his
Then we'd
passing
have to-
range.
Playing playmaker.
G-Playing playmaker.
Yeah, it could, maybe,
G-Playing
but
forward.
they call him a register in Italy. He's called a register where he's going to get the ball, start play. But those are kind of, if it works, people will say differently things. If it doesn't, it can be a train smash.
Yeah, well,
Do you know why it doesn't work?
to be objective, the actual thing that we had is that all along our Achilles heel has been going forward. That's where we haven't been scoring the goals that we need to be scoring. And we brought in Musona to do
see, and we
that.
thought he was going to
But
do that.
unfortunately, we played him central defensive. Anyway, guys, let's talk about hopefully we win against Rwanda. Yeah, isn't that what you guys want?
No, it's
No,
not
a
about
victory is
winning.
always welcome, but it's not about winning. It's about
Right,
preparing
let's
the
start off.
team. Exactly.
Let's start off. Michael Nees is the best thing to ever happen to Zimbabwe, apart from Reinhard Fabish. Let's talk about the games over the weekend, guys. Zimbabwe are playing against Scotland. This title decider? I think it's a title decider. You guys?
Yeah, I would concur with that because if Scotland is to win that, they would have boosted their chances big time. Because if you look at Zimbabwe fixtures, you realize they still have some tricky fixtures. So a win for Scotland would do them a world of favor. I think whoever wins this one would have positioned themselves perfectly for glory. For glory, because we are right at the business end, and I can't wait for that game.
Joe Lepachla wins this. He probably is winning the title, barring anything that happens with the thousands of kilometers that they will travel when Champions League kicks in.
I think Zimbabwe have got a chance to wrap up this title, but it's still a long way to go for them if they win, because they will only be leading by 5 points. Remember, we are talking about Scotland. Anything can happen.
For example, I saw the game that they lost to Dynamos. They were not short of replacement
Options.
Yes, they brought in Chiweta, who became a thorn in the flesh. They have knowledge in Sona, they have worked on Sona, they have Kamabilia, they have Terence Zukamanja. I mean, they have quality. You've got to attach respect to Scotland. And by the way, they are doing everything perfectly.
Except winning against Dynamos. Okay, Dynamos is another thing that... No, we're not going to talk about Dynamos today. We're going to talk about Highlanders, though. FC Platinum versus Boso.
Where at Mandela?
It's at Mandela. The previous match ended with Joe Lupasha taking all 3 points. Was it? It was in the league, isn't it? It was in the league at Barberfield Stadium.
The first round.
Oh, yeah, it was the Barberfield Stadium. Yeah, he picked up all 3 points when we were talking about it, I remember, with Valentine.
Is it Joe or Nomi?
Huh? No man, sorry. I don't know, why am I confusing? Simba Bora wears green.
Title glory is upon
Joe Lupasa went back home, got 3 points, and he was very happy. And now it's FC Platinum. Was it you who was talking to when there was a time when FC Platinum went to Barberfield Stadium? I think the score must have been 2-1, and they started playing tiki-taka football to end the match. I think it must have been a good 15 minutes where they were just passing the ball.
That's what they do.
Barberfield Stadium.
That's what they do.
But with the way they have been slightly inconsistent in terms of winning, there was a time when they were undefeated this season, but they lost against Caps United. I think they lost again the
Scotland was the first loss.
It was the first loss. Yeah. Caps United. Then there was a draw.
They've lost 4 games on the trot.
Yeah. Then there was a draw. Then there was another loss. So playing against Highlanders that fighting for relegation, do you think it could be a headache for Nome Mapeza at Mandawa Stadium?
I believe it's going to be a headache for him. First of all, who is he going to play? Because remember, the last kick of a dying horse, Highlanders are trying to survive. They'll come out with all guns blazing, and it's up to Nome Mapeza to select the best 11 that he can have on the day. But if he doesn't come up with the best 11 that performs, the best 11 must perform on the field of play, not on paper. And remember, for the last few games, FC Platinum haven't been producing good football.
Yeah, there's something that I heard, that there's a bit of a division in the FC Platinum setup.
In each and every
half
team,
one Nome Mapeza there, the other half don't want him there.
It has been happening for years and years. But it's only this year. Remember, they are rebuilding. And also they've got new players who have not been there for a long time. But I believe that this one is for Islanders to win. If they lose it, then... Yeah, if they can.
Yeah, but didn't they lose... Which, I'm forgetting the team that they lost to recently. At Mandawa
Caps United won at Mandawa.
Caps United won at Mandawa.
Yeah, but
why wouldn't Islanders...
won there?
Here's the thing. FC Platinum is in a state that probably the guys within the club would maybe explain how a team goes from no defeat to 4 defeats. And I will tell you, I said this before and I've said, it can never be about Nome Mapeza.
It can't.
Never.
It can't. There's something that's fishy happening.
There is no way, I'll tell you, if you go back to Zimbabwean football history, I think it happened once. And he went on to win the premiership anyway. He lost 4 straight games, but he won the premiership that year with Monomtap. Nome Mapeza is never going to lose 4 straight games. So there are things probably that are beyond him or things that are happening behind the scenes that have nothing to do with Nome Mapeza. But then again, if you look at the game in proper, you're looking at FC Platinum cannot be relegated now.
That's
right.
Sound.
Do they have the push? Do they have the drive? You wouldn't know. So if it's a normal game, everything said, I don't see Islanders beating FC Platinum. They do not have a side that can beat at this stage. Well, they've got a new coach bounce that has been ongoing with this. I don't want with the new coach.
The new coach was promised a lot.
But I just don't see them beating FC Platinum. I am an admirer of Islanders, but I don't think FC Platinum would want to have 5 defeats.
Yeah. Valentine will definitely agree with you. Another match that is, I don't know whether they're still in the race. That is Moors. They'll be playing against Tel 1 away from home.
They're actually playing against a team that can be in the race.
Yeah, that can.
That's Teo1, whom I think they should reward Jompano. That's Ebert Marua. I think they should give him accolades. He has punched above his weight, and he has achieved. He has overachieved, actually. Yes, they invested. I think people didn't know that. Teo1 did invest into this season, and the results are there.
Showing.
And I think it's a trend that I've seen in a number of teams. I think I would say Teo1 they have achieved. Moors have achieved. Scotland have achieved. Regardless of who then wins.
Yeah, but the level of achievement is also determined by the level of investment. Obviously.
Yeah, we cannot
Obviously,
separate the two.
Yeah.
But you also want to look at who you are. Scotland is big financially, is big in terms of the names, but it's a small team. Because this is a team that is barely a year into the Premiership. So are Moors. Till 1 year they returned. But I think if we were to choose the team of the season,
Teo1 must be.
I would give it to Teo1. Yes, Moors, they really were within, the shot, but somehow they were eclipsed by.
Yeah, but there was always an expectation that more Scotland would be somewhere in there. But no one really actually talked about
But to be
one.
frank with you, I thought more of Scotland to be there. I actually thought Scotland could win it, and I still think they are going to win it. Moors, they surprised me because in terms of player acquisition,
they did not
do it the way Scotland did. But they still remained very competitive. I think it would be absurd for anyone at Moors to underestimate what Lloyd Mtasa did. Lloyd Mtasa did so well at Moors because you want to look at what was done at the team. You want to look at the investment in terms of the players that they brought. They did not change much prior to the start of the season. But up until maybe midway, that's when you saw them maybe getting
this is sort of like foundation for them for next season.
Yeah, I think it. If they continue with the same trajectory, continuation, it's key. To change a coach and to change many players, it can be a recipe for disaster for next season. What Moors have done, to be honest with you, remember when they lost the Northern Region Division 1 Championship to Scotland. There was news that they are going to acquire the Wange ZPC franchise, but nobody knew exactly if they were going to. Then I'm looking at the players we are having from the previous campaign where they lost closely to Scotland. Their mindsets are not at ease. They are busy thinking, are we going to play a PSO or going back to Division 1? Then at the last minute, maybe 2-3 weeks before, then word comes out. Moors have acquired ZPC Wange franchise. They are going to play. They only had 3 weeks or 2 weeks to prepare. But if you look at these guys, they never stopped preparing during the off-season, which brought in fatigue. That's why you could see the first 15, 16 games, they had the energy. But when it mattered the most, they did not equip the players also or to rebeef the squad with fresher players who could also carry them to the finishing line. But for me, credit to Lloyd Mtasa and his team, the players also and the sponsors themselves and the Norton crowd. They've been wonderful. Going to Norton to Ngoni Stadium, it's like you're going to the art gallery for war, where you see the only bullets, machine guns. The crowd, they are so excited to have PSL football in Norton, and I believe that for the branding of our league, Moors and Scotland, they've outdone themselves.
Let's talk about El Relegato. Dynamos taking on Triangle. It looks like Dynamos is going to win this match convincingly. There's going to be a goalkeeper mistake. Then there's going to be a headed goal.
What you've become in the octopus?
Hey, dude, I'm an analyst. I've been watching Dynamo's games, and that's a consistency.
Yeah, it's
There's a Dynamo's. There's
in my view, it's going to be a very tough game. I think the toughest they've played in some time, because you know, if you ask me, it probably would be easier to play against Scotland than play against Triangle at this stage, because Triangle, they're also playing to make sure that they secure their survival. They would definitely want to win this game and make sure that I think that will take them to 34. They can start breathing easy. Yeah, they are 31. They start breathing. They can start breathing easily.
easier.
I think it's not easy. Dynamos have been on a rebound. I hope that they don't get complacent and take it for granted to say we have been on a winning streak, so we're going to win. Because I've watched Triangle play. They're a decent side. They are a well-coached side. And to make things interesting, they are a well-coached side by a former Dynamos coach whose departure was not as ceremonial as you'd have wanted to be. So he may have a bone to chew with the team. So it's going to be an interesting one. I think anyone who thinks they can call this one easily, I don't think they are thinking clearly. It's going to be a very tough one.
Doughty, how imperative or how important is going to be the crowd at Rufaro Stadium? This is probably one of the reasons. I think it was Valentine, wasn't it, who mentioned it, that all of their games from now on are going to be at Rufaro Stadium. Most of the games.
Maybe two
away from home. How important is that crowd at Rufaro Stadium going to be for Dynamos?
Yeah, unongoziva zita rekuronzi chazunguza, but handikuziva kuti chakwanisa here kuzunguza Rufaro yacho. Because if you look at the last match against Scotland, it was fully packed. Are they going to come back again in that same kind of number? Because you need the numbers for Dynamos. But these are the matches to be honest. These are the banana skins for Dynamos.
Yeah.
These are the kind of matches that Dynamos loses easily. Remember, even when you play big games, when you win the big match, you are bound to lose to the smaller teams. You see, you win the big one and then you lose. But from what I see, I do agree with Bevan. This match is unpredictable. But I'll tell you, with the former Dynamos head coach sitting in the opposite bench, it's going to be trouble for Dynamos. Because wakatarisa season inwe, ma teams obhaji ka Dynamos, vazhinji vacho ma former coaches akanga ari ku Dynamos.
Yeah. Talk about former. Ian Bagala. Nasta winner, Mangwana ta loser.
You know, he's beating the big teams.
Yeah, I understand.
Check his record. He's beating the big teams.
Yeah, but
your Islanders, your Scotland,
yeah, but it's not going to make Caps United survive.
Yeah, at this stage.
What is it? 3 points between Caps United and Dynamos. Dynamos wins, Caps United loses. Caps United is where Dynamos was. You got to tell me that is a bit of a worry for Ian Bakala going into the next match.
Yeah, everyone, almost everyone from number 8 going down, I think, is got some issues with relegation. They are flirting with it, but yeah, he has been blowing hot or cold, and I'll be frank with you. I think he got into the deep end.
He didn't get into the deep end. He was thrown there.
Yeah, well.
He was thrown there.
But you know what? When you are told, you can tell whoever is telling you or is offering to say, I think at this stage, I'm not yet good enough to swim that end of the pool. So I think, no disrespect to him, qualification-wise, he's there, he can. But the demands of the side may be bigger than what he's able to offer at this stage. I think it would have done him a world of good if he had been around as an understudy to Lloyd for some time. Then if he was going to take over. It was going to be.
Yeah,
but
what
next season, I don't think he should be the head coach.
That's what I was about to say. That
I
a
don't
lot
think
of fans think
he's going to. It's going to. It's a. The institution is so demanding sometimes that you need time.
It demands
Be in the setup in some capacity. Then when you really, I know he's a former player, but you know,
But can I tell you something, Bevan? I think the biggest mistake for Caps United was to bring in Ian Bakala as the head coach.
Yeah, but that wasn't
Like I do agree with him. He was supposed to be an understudy.
But was Ian Bakala the person that they were looking for in the first
yeah,
place?
you've got to understand. He was coming as an assistant. He was coming as an assistant. If my facts are correct,
He was coming as
he
an
was
assistant.
coming as an assistant. But then when the sudden changes happened, and probably the team could not
Win.
not really win, could not tie down another coach after the departure of Lloyd Tembe. I think they had to settle for somebody who could do that.
But
You know, I think he will need time, but not as a head coach.
As an assistant coach.
Because,
Somewhere in the center.
yeah, because the thing with these big teams, the demand is so high. You've got to, you know, kick and go. Like what Kevin Kaindu has done at Dynamos. You come there, the results change, you're already winning. If the slump comes later, the fans can then maybe
relate to you.
Say it's okay, Gigi.
But
yeah, so I think he's a guy who needs to maybe be within the system in a different capacity at some point. Probably take over.
What am I most of these former players? Pavanodaidza nematins avakatambira munhu wese ada kuikocha kuti akambiri ke kuti paipai ndaitamba futi iye zvinozviziva kuikocha waona pakauya Embakala moto wemapepa wakanyazobvira anditi moto wayi zvinhu zvaita sei and then if I'm not wrong, do you know the Caps do the most vocal supporters if the coach is not doing well?
Vocal?
Vashoma, but
I don't agree with that. You know, can I say
Can we not agree off here?
No, because I just wanted to say, I think Caps United actually has the best fans for any coach. Hear me out. Because these are fans that will be buddy with the coach even if the coach loses, but on condition that the team has been playing well.
All right, so the condition is
you have to play well. Yes, especially when they are not faced with relegation like now. Under normal years, they would not have issues with the coach unless, you know, if they see a good brand of football. So I think they are not so much, yes, demanding they are because of the status of the team. But in terms of being fans that are accommodating, they can accommodate.
Yes, but what he was trying to say was that, like you were saying, kana results asiri kubuda bobo, especially relegation. Anyway, remember tutamba Rwanda later.
I got an update. Okay, this is it's an official communication from SIFA. Isheune Sumauchi has been called into the squad following suspension of teenage Hadebe.
Problem. Nasi.
And he has been called. This is
is he in camp now?
What you call it, present participle. You know, English teachers will teach us in terms of the tense. I think he has been called in present participle. Yeah. Isheuneshu Mauchi has been called into the squad following suspension of.
Suspension yakaitika Sunday, Friday.
I don't know.
Already they knew before the game that we have two players that can face suspension if they carry another yellow card.
But is it given? Is it given they were going
sometimes you have to call and bring
but I'm saying, is it given that they're going to be suspended?
No.
Probably.
But this is what I'm talking about. Friday, baby. Even game another Friday.
Friday. Game lakatambwa Friday.
Saturday. Monday. The Tuesday.
Ngekutamba nasi.
That's the Tuesday.
Expect us to do well.
I think this one will close the show. This one will close the
Which
show.
one? Let's see.
So there is a certain movement in South Africa that has issues with people from other countries. So so they have said they have put up a notice, alert to Home Affairs, large gathering of illegal immigrants. Home Affairs is informed that a large group of illegal immigrants is expected to gather today at address Warwick Avenue, Willows, Bloemfontein. Time we have Foreign Affairs to play officers.
What's wrong with these ones? How was that really good? Yeah.
Oh, it's interesting.
Anyway, that's done. You Mauchi Haruto Nutambana.
Yeah.